Welcome to the Livingston Safety Induction for the project at GWP Units 207 and 208 refurbishment. Traffic management. Access the site via Welcome Bay Road. The speed limit is 25 km per hour for all vehicles on MetLife care sites. Site hours and delivery times are Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Weekend works, 7:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. if required. A spotter must be present whenever vehicles enter or exit the site, and for all deliveries. Reversing vehicles must also have a spotter. Boundaries are marked with temporary fencing and signage. Personnel must stay within these limits unless performing specific tasks. All materials must remain within the fenced area. When working outside boundaries, ensure isolation methods are used and follow a council-approved traffic management plan for work on footpaths or roads. Health and safety responsibilities. We must all follow the Health and Safety at Work Act 2015, all current NZ regulations, the NZ Building Act and Code, all WorkSafe NZ approved codes of practices and guidelines, all Livingston's policies and procedures, and any client policies and procedures. Signing in and out of site. Everyone must sign in and out on this site. Where sign on site is available, this should be used via your phone or the kiosk. This is for emergency evacuation purposes. PPE, personal protective equipment. Everyone must wear steel-capped footwear, a high-vis shirt or vest, a hard hat, and all other PPE as per the task requirement. Training and competency. Everyone on site must provide a training and competency register to the Livingston site manager prior to any works commencing on site. Training competencies are as follows: EWP, WTR, heights, asbestos, crane operator, PATS, electrical competency, certified scaffolder, and any other certification relevant to your trade. Services locations and breaking ground. Any work where you are breaking ground, you will need to complete a breaking ground permit with a Livingston site manager before you start. There is to be no digging with a machine 1 metre either side or on top of a service. Hand digging or hydro excavation is encouraged. Service location plans must be obtained. A copy of these will be held on site. They will also be marked on site plans. The service must be physically located before you start any works. Services disconnections, isolations and electrical work. We must ensure we have a qualified service person to work on the service. E.g., anything electrical needs a qualified electrician. Livingston site manager and a licensed service person is to verify services are isolated or disconnected. These are to be marked up on plans and will be put on the wall showing the service's status. E.g., service is live, isolated or disconnected, so everybody can refer to it. If anyone is unsure about any service, they are to speak with the Livingston site manager. Electrical safety on site. Everyone must inspect tools, leads, and cords daily, ensuring they are within the 3-month test and tag. Do not use equipment if it is damaged. All equipment must be run through an RCD to reduce the risk of electric shock. Avoid daisy chaining leads and keep them off the ground where possible. They must be arranged neatly to prevent any trip hazard. You must protect cords from sharp edges, liquids, and heat. And please note, domestic power multi-boxes and plug bosses are not permitted on our sites. Toolbox meetings. Every week there will be a toolbox meeting held on site. Everyone must attend. Please bring up any concerns or initiatives you may have. Each contractor must bring their current task analysis signed. Task analysis. A task risk analysis must be completed prior to any work starting on site for all tasks. All persons involved in the task must understand the task analysis and sign on to each task analysis. They must be reviewed and updated weekly. Hierarchy of controls. When looking at risks and hazards, we need to put controls in place. When we are doing that, we need to make sure we are following the hierarchy of controls. We need to make sure that we are eliminating the hazard or risk first, before putting in minimization methods. Risk assessments must be completed after identifying any hazards, and appropriate controls must be put in place. Each risk in the task analysis must show how the risk has been reduced. Hot work. Any work that can create a spark, such as welding, grinding, cutting or sanding, must have a hot work permit in place. The hot work area must be checked after the work is finished for firewatch and permit to be signed off. Please speak to the Livingston site manager before you do any hot work. Reverse parking guidelines. Please note we have a reverse parking rule in place on our sites. All personnel are required to reverse park their vehicle in designated areas. This guideline ensures efficient use of parking spaces. We thank you for your cooperation. First aid information. On our sites we prioritize safety and well-being. So here is what you need to know. A first aid kit is available on site for minor injuries. Every Livingston vehicle is also equipped with one. If you sustain an injury resulting in an open wound, please check your tetanus status, regardless of the size of the cut or scrape. Our Livingston trained first aiders can be easily identified by a distinctive first aider sticker on their hard hats. A list of trained first aiders is also listed on the hazard board. In case of an emergency, please call 111 for immediate assistance. Emergency evacuation. In the case of an emergency requiring evacuation of the site, the following alarm will sound. 3 blasts on an air horn. A verbal warning and sign on site notification. If an emergency occurs, shut down all plant, machinery and equipment. All personnel on the site are to proceed immediately and calmly by the safest route to the assembly point. The assembly point location is marked on the site plan. Please remain there, so everyone can be accounted for. Do not return onto site until the emergency services or site management have given the all clear. In an emergency, call 111 for immediate assistance. Medical facilities. For medical attention, you can visit the Tauranga Hospital located at 829 Cameron Road. The nearest AED, defibrillator, is located on site at the Metlifecare Retirement Village. For immediate use in cardiac emergencies, the site manager must be notified of any events occurring on our sites. Your well-being and safety are our top priorities. Asbestos. Before starting any job, it's crucial to be aware of the potential risks associated with asbestos. Did you know that all buildings constructed or altered before the year 2000 may contain asbestos materials? To ensure your safety and the safety of others, it's mandatory for Livingston to conduct independent asbestos surveys for these buildings and the soil around them. These surveys are conducted by a licensed surveyor who assess the presence and condition of asbestos-containing materials. This report is available for viewing prior to starting works and throughout the duration of the project. But what happens if, during the course of your work, you stumble upon previously unidentified potential asbestos? The answer is simple. Stop work immediately and notify site management, who will engage a licensed asbestos removalist to safely remove the asbestos. Remember, safety always comes first. For any questions or concerns related to asbestos or safety, please don't hesitate to reach out to our health, safety, and well-being team. Hazards and risks. Safety nets. All safety nets to be installed for fall-through protection. No one except the safety net staff are to move or dismantle these nets. Safety nets are in place for fall-through protection and must always be in place for roof works. If any nets are damaged or something falls onto the net, you must notify the site manager immediately. So this can be rectified immediately by the net subcontractor. Elevated work platforms. All personnel operating an EWP must have a training certificate for these or be directly supervised by someone who does. The EWP must have a current 6-month certification, and the machine must be checked daily and the check entered into the logbook. Scaffold. Only certified scaffolders can erect any fixed scaffold and scaffold over 5 meters. No one except the certified scaffolder can change, alter, add, or remove any part of the scaffold. Should you need a scaffold changed, please see the Livingston site manager. If you alter the scaffold in any way, you will be on charge for the cost of the certified scaffolder coming to site to inspect, reassemble, and recertify the scaffold. Excavation. Excavation for services must always be fenced. If anyone working in excavation deeper than 1.5 meters, the excavation must be benched or battered. You must adhere to the approved codes of practice for excavations and shafts. All excavations must be fenced within our fenced site. Sun. There is sunscreen in the office. Please wear a hat and glasses. Dehydration. Drink plenty of water during the day. Power tools. All tools must have a current test and tag certificate on. Trenches. Public must always be protected and everyone to be familiar with where they are located. All trenches must be fenced. All protruding reinforcing must always be capped. Chemicals. All chemicals on site must be documented and a MSDS available on site. Report these to the site manager. Vehicles. All reversing vehicles must always have a spotter. If vehicles are moving around site constantly all day for a task, first instance is to try and isolate the areas of movements, so all others are clear of work activities. Large deliveries must have a spotter in place and traffic control. Public. All areas of work must be completely isolated from the public by means of hoardings and fencing. All dust must be controlled and areas made safe. Dust. Dust must always be controlled and public protected from dust. Areas of work must be isolated where possible. Vacuums must be used as much as possible for dust-creating tasks. Water suppression can also be used. When cutting, grinding, sanding, etc., appropriate respirator masks must be worn as well as vacuums used. For persons working around the task within 3 to 5 meters, dust masks must also be worn by those persons. Demolition. All demolition materials shall be cleared from site at regular intervals. Nails and other such attachments that may pierce the skin shall be bent over or removed from each piece as it is taken down. All wiring is to be treated as live. Wiring, heating pipes, and plumbing fittings shall be removed by the appropriate trades. Crane work. All PPE to be worn, high-vis, hard hat, steel cap shoes, gloves, glasses. A task analysis must be completed prior to works and all to sign off on. Trucks, diggers. High-vis shirt must always be worn and hard hats when near the machinery. Operators are to be licensed and a copy of this is to be kept on site in the SSSP. Delivery of these machines must be done in an isolated area. Hydraulic ramps must be connected and working for a controlled drop and lift of the ramps. All persons to be clear of this area. Heights. Workers at height must have fall protection in place. This must be by means of a scaffold, EWP, handrail firstly. If impracticable, then another means of fall protection must be in place. Doing nothing is not an option. A task analysis must be completed for heights work. Harnesses are not to be used as a sole form of fall protection. Roof work. All persons working on the roof of the building must provide Livingston with a copy of their heights training certificate and a task analysis before any works commence. Edge protection must be in place. Ladders. Ladders must only be used for access and short duration maintenance work. Ladders must be checked for safety and used in their appropriate manner. Access ladders are to be tied and secured. All ladders must be used correctly and in good repair. 3-step ladders are discouraged from use. All ladders must be industrial rated. Scaffolds must be used before the use of any ladders. Boundary fencing. All fencing moved during the day must always be repositioned at the end of each task to ensure public and site safety. Working alone, night work. No persons are to be working alone on site at any time. This must be taken into consideration when developing task analysis and having this reviewed. Incident reporting and investigations. It's really important to report everything, no matter how small. Accidents, near misses, hazards, unsafe observations, or even positive safe observations. Please inform Livingston's site manager immediately. Everything will be investigated only so we can put corrective actions in place to make sure we can keep you and everyone else safe on our sites. Creating a safe and inclusive workplace. At Livingston's, we prioritize an inclusive workplace culture that enriches our organization through diversity. Bullying and harassment can harm both employee well-being and our company's reputation. All employees share the responsibility of maintaining a safe and inclusive workplace. Reporting and supporting those affected by bullying, harassment, or discrimination is crucial. We have a zero-tolerance policy for any form of bullying, harassment, or exclusion, aligning with our commitment to a respectful and equitable environment for all employees. We expect everyone to respect each other and speak professionally to and about our people. Any such incidents may result in disciplinary action or site removal. Drugs, alcohol and smoking. Anyone on our site may be required to undergo a drug or alcohol test for random, reasonable cause, or post-incident testing. Any failed results may result in removal from site and disciplinary procedures. No alcohol, drugs, or smoking on site. If you do smoke or vape, you must leave the complete site area. Environmental waste management. Please use the recycling bins provided on site. Try not to print or bring paper products to site where possible. We understand that some paper is needed. Do not bring or use packaging where possible. Reuse items on site that we already have before purchasing new ones. Ensure you clean up regularly after yourself. Turn off tools and disconnect them from the power supply when not using. Wash tools and equipment in designated wash bays to eliminate washing chemicals down stormwater drains. Use eco-friendly cleaning products where we can. Maintain tools and machinery. Maintain sediment and environmental controls. Any spills or concerns with environmental, please let the Livingston site manager know immediately. Personal music devices and mobile phones. Personal music devices are not allowed to be used while on site. Mobile phones can be used while you are on site, but please try and keep these to your lunch breaks or to a safe area on site. Not walking through main site areas or where machinery etc. are. Hoodies, hooded jumpers, and baseball caps. Hoodies must not be worn over or under your hard hat as they can obstruct your vision. Baseball caps must not be worn under your hard hat as it may reduce the function of the suspension, resulting in hard hat failure. You may only wear an approved bandana or buff beanie. Unsafe behavior. We have a zero tolerance to unsafe behavior, e.g. under the influence of drugs, alcohol, unsafe acts, on all work sites. Anyone demonstrating unsafe, violent, or illegal behavior will be asked to leave the site and disciplinary action may follow. Please follow all our procedures on site. We all need to work together to keep everybody safe. Are you okay? Or do you need some help? If you need someone to speak to, you're feeling down, anxious or overwhelmed, or you know someone who needs someone to speak to, please call the following and it's free of charge and they will help you. It's Mates in Construction 0800 111 315. Please use this service if you need it or speak to our site or project manager.